All right, boys, we're gonna try our first tier 20 nightmare dungeon. We're using the double imbue build, boys. We're gonna load in our poison shadow step. So we're loading poison. We shadow step, we stun, we dash, we evade to apply the follow-up stun, and then we follow that up with a cold imbue, and then they get frozen. And then we obviously follow that up with a poison. So you're kind of rotating skills constantly. A little bit higher APM for traditional ARPG games. And when we're in our poison pool right there, we just get unlimited poison charges on our poison imbue. So right here, you can just see I can constantly just spam twisting blades there. And just, it's insane. It's insane damage. Slay bandits. We're gonna go after the bandits. We're gonna kind of group these guys up together. Play the bandit sentry. We got a big group here. I'm gonna go ahead and load this up. Here we go. Oh, almost died there. There's the CC. His CC. There's our survivability. So that one was a little bit scuffed just because they're kind of spread out. And I was a little bit slow applying the cold. Let's try that again. Looking for the objective here though, boys. All right, here he is. Is the cold? They're already dead. I can actually move out just because the poison imbue does so much damage. Sorry, I'm a little scuffed at explaining while I'm trying to play. Because this is a new build, so I don't have like the rotation down perfectly, muscle memory wise. Load the poison, shadow step, cold imbue, twisting blades delay. They're kind of spread out. I had to reach there to freeze the trance there. I'm gonna try and take advantage of the he's already dead. Take advantage of the inner sight window there. So you can just see how often this bursting venoms procs, and this is what I was talking about in my twisting blades clone lucky hit build video. I mean, just the insane amount of lucky hits that you get with this build is just really good. All right, we got one more bandit sentry. All right, so once again, we're gonna load in our poison imbue. We're gonna shadow step, get another second hit from the poison imbue off. Dash, that'll buy some time with a stun. Quickly go into cold imbue, and that'll follow up the stun with another CC, or excuse me, another freeze. All right, here we go. Oh, I scuffed that. I panic dodge rolled in before I cold imbued there, or vice versa. It's okay, you guys get the picture though. It still worked out. Just wasn't the ideal rotation there. That's okay. So there's the stun. There's the freeze coming up. There it is. Back to poison. We're in our pool. Back to freeze. Back to stun. Back to freeze. This thing is annoying me. Let me go back to poison here. Back to... There's our window. Gonna go into poison. Big damage here. Big damage there with the poison imbue. Really big. When that bursting venoms lines up with your inner sight window, it's just insane. And the reason why I said that my original poison imbue bursting venoms shadow clone build was going to be broken, what was because of precisely that. So you used to be able to just sit in that inner sight window permanently, but you can't do that anymore. So I was right. They did nerf my build. They just nerfed it. They nerfed it yesterday. So having the cold imbue in here buys us extra time, because we're not going to be able to just obviously sit in the poison pool forever. We need sustain, we need CC, and that helps. You can also use a trap. We're going to be messing around with some traps later with Cold Imbue, but Cold Imbue is just really, really nice. Really feeling it. Golden to cold here. I'm in my puddle. Just gonna burst that right there. We go back into cold here. Follow that up with poison. We're gonna dash here for some extra CC. We're gonna go back into cold to follow that up. We're in our bursting venoms window. And you can just see how much poison damage this does. It's insane. We're gonna space there because our cold is down. That we got our cold back up really quick because Twisting Blades' cooldown reduction. Dash into another cold imbue to get that cycle, and there it is. That's pretty much how it's done. We're at 57 and we're doing, yeah, we're at level 57 and we have no issues right now with this build at tier 20. A lot of you guys are playing, and a lot of you guys that are playing on Rogue are struggling from what I'm hearing. And a lot of it is probably because of a lack of CC. Okay, so I have put together a double imbue build that is really good for like the mid game meaning right when you enter the nightmare tier, world tier 3, and you start doing these nightmare dungeons, and you may not have like everything min-maxed, no paragon board yet, or no glyphs rather, no major rare nodes, and you're just kind of struggling transitioning. And this build has been phenomenal. Now, this isn't a trap build. Woody has a trap build, and it's a great build, really good. And one of the reasons why that build works so well is because it has a lot of really good CC applications. And for those of you who are playing this game, you could probably tell that you take a lot of damage and rogues are very squishy, right? So I've put together this build and it's been working fantastic. And to be perfectly honest, I kind of want to continue playing this even through the end game because I feel like it's just going to be really good. It's a double imbue, cold and poison imbue, and I'm going to walk you through this, and I'm going to try and keep this as simple as possible. All right. So the skills we take Shadow Step and Dash. Because we're squishy and we don't have access to a lot of barriers and regen, and well, outside of some of the siphoning skills that we have, because it's early game and you might not have all the legendaries, movement is super important. And if you can't move on Rogue, unless you're playing a trap build, if you can't, and even if you're playing a trap build, if you can't move, you're gonna die. So I think it's just very difficult to not take both Shadow Step and Dash. Poison just really juices out your damage. Cold Imbue is going to apply CC, and then obviously Puncture and Twisting Blades. So pretty much how this build works, sorry for the long intro there, but pretty much how this build works is as follows. You're obviously getting your vulnerable application from Puncture, cooldown reduction, Twisting Blade spam, nothing different there. You're getting a lot of siphoning. Okay, you're leeching a lot of health from siphoning strikes. This is really big for sustain. I'm also maxing out Sturdy for extra tankiness. We're taking Shadow Step all the way to Methodical. This is CC application number 1. Okay, and then we're taking Dash for the mobility. And then we're taking Poison Imbue, and then we're taking Cold Imbue. Cold Imbue is CC application number 2. Now, Cold Imbue, the way this works is every time you get a hit with the Cold Imbue, you're going to chill the target for 25%, which means 4 hits with a chill imbue is going to freeze the target. And because Twisting Blades with the Blade Dancer aspect is a 5-hit skill, you're going to be freezing them pretty much every time. Okay, now the way Cold Imbue works is that when you apply the CC, chill or frozen, you deal a lot of damage. Cold Imbue skills deal 20% X damage, which means that X damage is multiplicative, not additive. This passive right here is also really good. 20% multiplicative increased damage to chilled enemies, 40% if they're frozen. All right, so Cold Imbue essentially gives you just a lot of damage on chilled and frozen targets, right? But you have to chill and freeze them. And it also has a built-in vulnerable application. So this is actually really, really good. And this is just going to increase the amount of damage that mixed cold and beam is just going to increase that. So when you load in cold imbue, you just almost instantly freeze everything around you, giving you a small window of attacking and obviously not taking damage. And then you're alternating between that and poison giving you just a ton of damage. This is just really, 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 really good. It's going to be doing it's definitely going to be doing more damage than any ultimate that you'll take at this stage of the game. And we're taking these passives here because these increase our lucky hits. Lucky hits allowing us to proc cold imbue a little bit more or a little bit easier, and as well as our other lucky hits that we have built in, but that's not super important right now. Precision imbue, this increases our critical strike chance, and the fact that imbued skills have a 9% critical strike chance, we essentially have 4 consecutive skills or 4 consecutive attacks or inputs that will take advantage of this, rather than taking 1 imbue, which would be 2 skills. And by the time you use both of these, they're almost back off of cooldown because of twisting blades. Essentially, what's happening, let me actually go over the legendaries real quick, because the legendaries you need is obviously twisting blades here. You don't need this. You actually don't need that. I have Mother's Embrace because I just got lucky with it. Not super important, but it is nice because resource is a thing in the early game. This one is really nice. Imbuement skills deal 20 to 40% extra potency to vulnerable. This is going to make your chills stronger, and this is going to make your poison damage it's going to make your poison damage hit harder. Okay. I have this. This is also a very nice synergy between chilled and poison. This is also going to give you extra damage on your poison. This is why poison really juices. And then right here, this is a really very, very nice legendary that I highly recommend you keep in your build. When you evade or shadow step, which means when you dodge roll, you are going to have these stun grenades that drop on your feet. So this is another CC application. This is what it looks like, just like that. So when you engage on a target, you have your shadow step, which will stun. Okay. And then you have your cold imbue, and I'll just get into a group of mobs here. I'll just use 2 twisting blades, and you're gonna see, well, they're dead, but that's gonna freeze, and then you follow that up with poison here, and then if I dash, I'm gonna get extra AoE stun on top of it. So you could almost perma CC these mobs, because you open up with a cold imbue, and that should freeze them. And if it doesn't for whatever reason, or if they've come out of frozen status and you need extra uptime, then you can just dodge roll, and that will chain a CC, and it'll go into a stun. And then worst case scenario, if you need another one, you can shadow step again, which gives you another stun. So you just have a lot of applications to stun. And when you see the gameplay footage, you're going to see me almost like sit in these packs of mobs. And again, I'm squishy. You can see how much damage I'm taking now, but I don't use pots, and I'm sitting in the middle of everything. And it's because I'm constantly chain CCing. And not only am I chain CCing, but I'm dealing significantly more damage, because that's how cold imbue works, by applying the CC, right? And poison obviously is just it just hits like a truck. So yeah, I'm having a really good time with this build. I think you guys should definitely check it out if you're struggling with the rogue. Yeah, I just think this is really, really good, and hopefully that helps you guys.